Hello, my name is Elle. Um, After watching the 2012 documentary Poor Kids, um, I wrote down my thoughts for the questions. So, what were the most striking aspects of child poverty that were depicted in the documentary? The most striking aspects of child poverty were the way that the kids knew they were in poverty and how they coped. Like the girl had to distract herself so much um, when she was hungry so that she would either forget that she was hungry or her hunger would subside. Um, the way the kids still had dreams to overcome the poverty, like Johnny, who dreamed of going to college to be a basketball player and getting out of poverty, the gaps that in those counties for the government policies that did not exist. Um, like Johnny's family had a homeless shelter, but for the Salvation Army to go to, but the other families did not. Um, the insights, how do my insights align or contrast with my previous understanding of poverty? These insights made me discover how the gap of between barely making it off government help and homelessness. I did not have the knowledge that there was a gray area between going to be homeless or um, being homeless. I have lived off the SNAP program, and that helps a lot with food, but knowing the food insecurity still exists for certain families it makes me think that we should have better policies. I know that there are some programs like housing subsidies and rental um, stipends for certain counties, but I know that all of them don't exist. Um, and I didn't realize that the way all the kids hope to live really affected how they really live mentally. Um, and I know that some schools don't have the resources to help counsel every child when they are mentally affected like this by their trauma. In my county, there's school programs that help the children provide free lunches to everyone and free breakfast, but I know that's not true for everyone. Identify and analyze the root causes of child poverty. Um, how do factors such as family dynamics, education, employment, government policies, and community support contribute? In the family, um, in the many families in the documentary, had parents who held jobs, but they were low paying jobs, and their hours were considered competitive hours, where if you don't sell enough, you don't get as many hours to make money, or the company just did not have the hours to provide Um, and the documentary stated that the 2008 recession really made the employment level go down due to companies not being able to afford to pay all their employees. And so the children had to witness their parents stressed, um, and they felt the insecurity of being poor, and they were very self-aware about that. Welfare benefits, food assistance, and housing subsidies rarely cover the true cost of living. Just because you have a SNAP program doesn't mean you can't cover rent for that month or are able to afford new clothes for your children. The families in the documentary moved around a lot, so this caused low education opportunities for the children. Um, just because if you keep on getting uprooted into a different school, that means they might be in different sections of the curriculum. Um, some of the children's neighborhoods often lacked resources such as safe parks, quality schools, and health care. Um, and so the community support helped when the schools were able to provide food bags for the weekend for the children, such as the nutrition club. What do I think we should do to prevent societal effects of child poverty? I think we should strengthen the social government programs by understanding that there's a threshold that needs to be met before government assistance is no longer needed. I know that there is a current threshold, but there needs to be, in lawmakers, a research and understanding about how families who are close to poverty or living in poverty really live versus what they think in their heads. We should also expand county programs through housing assistance so families do not experience homelessness. We should include mental health and social services in schools and community centers so that children do not experience the trauma of poverty. And I think every county should have a free food pantry, like there isn't a food pantry as of recent in the county of Terrell. And they advertise that there is, but there isn't. So every county should be able to have like little food pantries or maybe free health clinics so that kids can get better care. Reflect on the ethical implications of child poverty. How does it affect the rights and opportunities of future prospects of children? What are the moral responsibilities do we have as a society? The ethical implications of child poverty affect the human rights of children every day. They do not have access to adequate food, shelter, healthcare, and education. And these children should not be responsible for these circumstances. When children live in poverty, it limits their ability to reach their full potential, and it robs the children of the same chances as their peers to succeed. As a society, we have the moral obligation to address child poverty and create laws to help children experience equality and not inequality. Like bridging the gap of food equality for children, being able to provide free food for them without their consequences, of having to distract themselves, like those kids, the one girl, um, going hungry. And before the current presidency, our society was looking up at addressing poverty and creating more social programs to bridge the gap. In my county, there is a food bank who limits 3 times a year for you to get food, but they provide you up to like 3 months of food. And there's a free health clinic, but you still have to not have insurance. So that affects how much you'd have to pay out of pocket. So our memorial responsibilities of us as a society is to take better care of our children because they are our future.